Do you ever wonder where those murals in Midtown come from? They're from several local artists that are transforming the walls of Midtown into their canvas. And today, we're gonna hang out with one of them, Joe C. Rock, and he just so happens to be working on another mural today, right in Midtown. Joe!
Hey, Connie.
Look at this. This is awesome.
Thank you.
This is so cool. I love this. So what is this piece that you're working on right now?
So this is just kind of a little ode to just images that I like, and you know, the heart of the city, I feel, which Midtown kind of is at this point. I mean, downtown was definitely the heart of the city, but I feel like it's kind of moved its way this way, and this is where everyone wants to be, and this is where most of the new things are happening in the town, so just kind of a little ode to that.
Do you ever get nervous when you walk up to a wall and think, oh, it's too big, it's too small, or how do you visualize your murals? Does the wall pick you, or do you have an artistic idea before you get to the wall?
Usually I have a lot of ideas ruminating in my head, but I mean, it kind of has to fit the space. Like, you know, some people are kind of particular what they want. Luckily, the Marmot brothers, they're really great, and they kind of allow me to paint whatever I'd like, so I can just paint kind of ideas that I've already been thinking about and wanting to get across.
I don't know if you're allowed to ask an artist this, but do you have a favorite mural? Are you allowed to pick a favorite?
I mean, they're all the new ones are my favorite. Every time I paint something new, it's kind of my favorite. But some of my favorite ones are actually places we'll be going today, Nevada Fine Arts and Junkie Clothing Exchange.
See, I love this too, because not only is Joe making Midtown better, but he lives here, he works here, and we're gonna go right now to Nevada Fine Arts and find out where he gets his paint at.
Thank you.
Hi guys.
Hi there. How you doing?
Good, yourself?
Good.
Can I get some paint?
Yeah.
So this right here is your go-to.
Yeah, this is pretty much one of the best quality paints they have around, and they sell it here at a local art store, Nevada Fine Arts, and this is what I pretty much use on every painting that I do, small or large, canvas or not.
So this, when you come in here and you look at all the different colors, and have you already visually, like in your mind, you know by this point exactly where you're going? With
Pretty
the mural?
much. I mean, it's always trial and error. Like, I mean, like, I don't know which greens I'll need or what, so I usually just buy a bulk, or, I mean, I do have my go-tos, and they have transparent paints, so those are really nice to, like, sketch stuff and layer stuff and not have such a drastic, like, full-on color.
Which is your effect of that layering, layering.
Yeah,
I
most
love
definitely.
that.
That's where the transparent paint comes in effect. Could I get a can of that Krypton green?
Krypton green.
Hey, Debbie.
Hey Joe, how are you?
Good, how are you today?
Good. I got a surprise for you when you're done.
Ooh. Joe, you're like Norm from Cheers when you walk in here.
I guess they have a gallery over here now.
I know, I want to check this out.
Hey, have you seen the new gallery?
I have, but let's go check it out.
Have you
It's like a hidden gem down here. This is great.
And this is Wesley.
This is Wesley, yeah.
Wow. Now, how often are you planning on using this? Like, how often will you rotate artists?
So every first Saturday of the month from 5 to 7, we're going to have an artist opening, and we're booked pretty much through October. But what you don't know about is in October, if you agree, you're going to be in a show. It's going to be small works of big mural artists. And
Oh,
we're going to
that's
do it in
awesome.
conjunction with another big thing that's happening in Reno, so it's going to be super cool show.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So he's going to take his big murals and make them little and put them in here. I like this idea.
Well, yeah, I have some of the sketches and stuff like
That's
that
great.
that I've done, the mock-ups from paintings, so I'm going to submit those, and then maybe do some like you know, photography stuff of like some of the large scale murals and put those up as well.
Have you, owning an art store, seen a change in that mural art is an art form? Are you happy to see that?
Oh yes, yeah. Well, I think Art Building was one of the first buildings where they did that big project.
Right.
It's just the gift that keeps on giving, and now taggers, they respect the wall, they respect Joe's artwork, other muralists, they don't, you know, do other stuff on top of it, and then other, you know, a boring blank building, looks gorgeous now.
We want it everywhere. It's a part of this community, and it continues to grow throughout Reno. And I think it's just something that is a testament to the art community that's coming out of here, and I love it. I love it. Okay, so Joe, you've painted, you bought more paints, you gotta be hungry.
Yeah, I am. I am.
So you're in Midtown, where do you like to go?
There's a lot of spots I go to often, but kind of today I'm craving tacos, and the Midtown Taco Shop, they're really good. So.
All right, let's do it. Midtown Taco Shop, here we come.
It's crazy, yeah.
Tacos. So are you the cheeseburger taco guy or the chicken?
I'm cheeseburger and the fish ones. The
Fish are the
best.
best. Okay.
Yeah, the fish are so good. What's up, man? How are you?
Good, good. Gonna get started for you.
I'm actually gonna do 2 chicken and a side of your guacamole.
Chicken and some guac, all right?
Yeah.
And can I get 2 fish and 2 cheeseburger?
Fish and cheeseburger.
I'm gonna have Pacifico.
Pacifico?
I'll go with the pineapple chile.
Awesome.
Chile. It's like an
Chili for you?
Awesome, thank you.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
So you pretty much live and work in Midtown, so you obviously know some of the best places to eat. How did you find this place?
Well, I just saw it one day. This
Taco
sign
shop.
on the taco shop on the door, and like I'm addicted to tacos.
Right.
Like, I love every kind of taco there is. So I like.
It's like people
just-
say Taco Tuesday, I'm like, or Wednesday,
Yeah.
or Thursday, it doesn't
I
matter.
actually ate these yesterday.
But I think that that's also another fascinating thing about Midtown is that sense of community that each business has. And I think not only if you work in Midtown or you're putting art up in Midtown or you're eating in Midtown, there really is a sense of community within the businesses.
That's definitely the heart of Midtown.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it started, was all these young entrepreneurs coming into the area, able to buy or rent these buildings out because they were just downtrodden, like there wasn't much going on. So like you would just come in and start a business and you wouldn't have to worry about it at all.
Ooh,
Two
tacos.
cheeseburgers here by Joe, your fish, and then cook the fish, chicken.
Thank you.
Now.
Yummy, yeah, this is good. So how did you come up with the cheeseburger taco? Because you opened up and everyone was like, did you go get the cheeseburger taco? Like that was immediately what I heard from everyone.
I saw it in a book. I saw Cheeseburger Taco. I know exactly what that is. Lettuce, tomato, onion, secret sauce, salsa especial, if you will, and then American. Well, sometime later, I revisited the article, something completely different. But what I like so much about the cheeseburger taco is that's what a cheeseburger taco is to me. And depending where people are from, it's like, oh, this is like White Castle, or this is like In-N-Out, or this is like Bob's Big Boys. So just really fun, accessible, something for the kids.
I like it.
I'm a big kid, so
yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter, little or big, you're gonna love it. And the guacamole looks fantastic.
Yeah, and we come up with all sorts of fun puns for the guacamole. If you order it to go, it might say like, only guac can judge me. And of course, it was Tupac-amole who said that.
Oh, I love
the one that I loved was, you guys know me, so I got it, Josie Guac. On the top of my guacamole.
Well, cheers to bad puns and yummy tacos.
I guess mine's in the name.
So I heard you guys aren't going to be in this spot too much longer.
Yeah, we're here through the end of June. This was just kind of a pop-up experiment. I hate to say pop-up, but it was an experiment to see if we can make a product that people are going to like. They do. And when it's all said and done, we're over. We're going to relocate over to Cheney, where Ivan's got that whole compound.
Awesome.
And it's an old garage we're going to convert. I'm thinking like Sparkle Bird would be the name of it. Still the same great product, probably a smaller, more concise menu, so you can smash on some drinks and get some quick bites.
Awesome.
Yeah, don't get rid of the cheeseburger
We'll
taco.
have the cheeseburger.
Okay.
And we offer a vegetarian option, and I think just to streamline it over there, I'm going to get some textured soy protein and just run
The cheeseburger one is
always have it. So,
Awesome.
So we look forward to that. It's always fun to start a new project,
Most definitely.
bring our guests with us, and all this madness as well.
Yeah, keep being notified.
Yeah, we want to. Yeah, we want to know. We want to keep eating tacos.
Here through the grapevine.
Awesome.
I look forward to it.
So do I.
Well, hey man, I got to get back to it.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Thank
joining us
you.
today. Take care.
I know it might be hard for you to pick out your favorite murals, Joe, but I want to take you to my favorite mural. So let's go over to Junkie.
All right.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thank you. So Joe, this is it. This is my favorite. I love this.
It's one of my favorites too.
So explain to me how this whole thing took place, because this is an actual collaboration.
Yeah, so July of last year for Art Town, myself and Eric Burke came together and it was an Art Town event. So every Sunday we did live painting right before the concert series out front. And so we just kind of got together and started thinking about ideas, and we wanted to do something kind of appropriate. So these are all like Nevada figures, like not so famous ones, but like they should be famous and people have done things. So Eric and myself, we just each week we would research and find someone that we wanted to paint, and then we'd come out and paint them, and then we'd pick somebody different. So we had like a huge number of people, and then these are all the ones that we could actually just fit on the wall.
And this building has history for you, because this is also kind of where you got your start, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this is Junkie was one of your first murals that you did in Midtown. So you did the front of the store. How many years ago did you do that?
That was in 2010.
Okay.
So about 7 years ago.
7 years ago. And then is this the largest project you've ever done?
Pretty much, it's one of the longest. I've done a bigger project, 3 stories by 180 feet, but this is like 1.5 by 200 feet plus, and so this was the largest I had done at this time.
Abraham Lincoln is, he's one of my favorite presidents,
Yes,
and this was actually one of my most favorite of all of the paintings here. His eyes to me, and why did you choose to use him where it's almost as if his head is shaped like an I-80 sign, or so like, hey.
Well, so Lincoln Highway is Highway 40, which is 4th Street.
Okay.
So that's the historic Lincoln Highway. It went from Times Square in New York to Lincoln Park in San Francisco, and so it's after his namesake. He's the reason why we're a state. He gave us our statehood, and so that's the sign behind him is the 40, and so it's also like an ode to Nevada. I mean, there's always like old signs with bullet holes in it, like if you go anywhere out in the desert. So that's kind of like the ode to that. Also, I mean, he was assassinated, so the bullet holes could mean that as well. And so that's the big 40 on his face is the highway sign. And then it's also, I've done a Lincoln mural where, and it's also utilizing the top as a crown. So it's kind of like just an ode to that.
There's so many things that I feel like when I look at this that you tell me about Lincoln, about our state, and just artistically, it's just a beautiful painting. So thank you for bringing this to us. And I'm gonna tell everyone, like, I've been taking them to all your paintings. They're gonna wanna buy your stuff, and Junkie sells your stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go see your art.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All these local artists back here.
I love this.
The handmade section, so we pulled in a lot of handmade items
And you get the big, awesome corner. What I love about this booth the most is I've been going around with you all day today. We see this big, giant murals, huge, huge. And you come in here and there are smaller pieces that are still just as incredible. I look at this one over here. I mean, that's just a mural portrait, but the detail that's on it, it's just so, even though you can do these massive murals, you can still have that really intimate feel in a portrait.
I could paint a realistic portrait really small, and when I started painting large scale, I thought it would be so easy, and it took me quite some time. It took me about 5 or 6 years to get it down.
Someone asked me the other day, is he an artist or is he part of the Black Eyed Peas? And I said, honestly, he could be both. He's that talented. But what would you say to an artist that's like, I have this unusual desire?
I mean, you have to have sheer grit and determination. That is also part of it. I mean, I've been doing artwork in the community since like 2007, around then. I mean, and that's when I really started just doing art shows. Pretty much like every single month I had one at a different spot, move the art to somewhere else, create new pieces, do something else. And then, I mean, then I just really started doing a lot of artwork, and it started building up, started getting my name more known. But then it wasn't really until I started doing mural work that people actually really took notice.
There's going to come a point, Joe, where you're going to be bigger than Reno.
Oh yeah, and I've always
we're gonna want to remember
my
that
artwork out there, and I mean, and I always will create small scale work. I mean, it's something that I when I'm bored, I can just grab a canvas and start painting on it, and so I'll always create small scale. It's just the amount of work that I create is a lot less now.
Joe, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the art that you give our community. Thank you for the opportunity to hang out with you today and see you create, see what inspires you. And again, thank you for your commitment to our community. You've done just not only amazing artwork, but just the fact that you take us through Midtown, you support local, you're all about this place, and Midtown wouldn't be as beautiful without your murals.
Well, thank you, Connie. I'll still keep trying my hardest.
We rock, Josie Rock. One of my favorite Midtown little boutiques.
Oh, so good to see you.
So I have to say that every time I come in here, I find something different, something new, something unique. And of course, we're heading into Burning Man season. Yay! So this is kind of like your one-stop shop to get ready for Burning Man. But how long have you been in Midtown now?
It's been a little over 2 years. We opened in March of 2015.
And what has been your overall experience? What is it like to own a shop in
It's
Midtown?
amazing. I've never worked so hard in my life, but I love it. The community, the camaraderie, the people, and getting traffic from all over Reno into Midtown is amazing.
Well, and I think too that you draw a great crowd because you have really found a niche. Like there's really unique pieces that you have. You can come in here and find funky sunglasses. If you need a little pasties for a little private night, you can find that as well.
Absolutely.
And I've also heard that you've expanded downstairs.
We have, yeah. We added another 650 square feet in the basement.
So lots more great stuff to check out. Lots of cool finds. Let's go downstairs
check it
and
out.
check that. This is like festival season, right? I mean,
Yes.
everyone's going to big concerts, not only Burning Man, but for you, I've always found that when I come in here, I really do find unique pieces. What are some of your favorite festival wear pieces you'd love to send people off this season in?
My favorite is definitely body chains. I feel like it's a really fun piece of jewelry and accessory without being overheated from the sun and too many things to deal with. A body chain can really dress up an outfit and show some personality without having to deal with all sorts of things on a festival night.
I may or may not have bought this for my husband. Neither confirm nor deny. And then, of course, we talk about going out to the playa. One of the things that I think people who may not have gone to Burning Man that often, they don't realize that, yeah, it's hot in the day, but it's cool at night.
It's so cold at night.
And you guys actually have a big selection. You've got fur coats, lots of ways for folks to stay warm on the playa as well.
Yeah, so you want to have layers to do less and more blankets when you're hot, when you're cold, when you're hot, when you're cold.
And then, of course, I've also seen some pretty awesome, like full-on, like I want to say costume bodysuits that are really, really popular. They kind of look like PJs.
They're called kangaroos. It's a weird word, but it is. It's an animal jumpsuit or a character that you can put your whole body in, and they're so cozy and warm.
Kendra, I think one of the things too that makes Midtown so unique and so special is there kind of is a sense of camaraderie. I've been in your store many a time where I might find something and then I'm like, oh, I wish you had this, and you've said, oh, well, don't forget to go around the corner, or down the street they have this.
Yeah.
Where are some of your favorite places to shop?
I love Midtown. There's a little gem right around the corner from us called Never Ender. And Melanie owns it. I've known her for 10 plus years. She gave me my first retail job when I was in college, and I knew in that moment that I wanted to have my own business and I wanted it to be retail. And she's a wonderful person, and I like to send people to her so that they can also get supplementary styles that I don't have.
Well, let's go visit Melanie, because you're absolutely right. She sent me over to you and vice versa, so we'll go check out her store right now.
Sounds good.
Hi, Kendra.
How's your day?
Good.
Good. It's just about.
How's yours?
Wonderful.
So, Melanie, you are kind of like, I want to call it an old timer in the old Midtown area. You've been here for how many years?
Probably about 8.
8 years. One of the things that I love the most, and I was telling Kendra this, is that I think between the two of you, I shop at both of your locations, and many times Kendra will say, oh, if you can't find this, you know, Melanie's around the corner. I've been in here, kind of the same thing. Don't forget about culture. Why do you think that is? I mean, you don't normally hear a lot of businesses promoting another business around the corner. Why do you feel like that's so different here?
It's all the community, and apart from the fact that I've known Kendra for
10 years.
and so sharing, you know, customers that way, it just makes sense to me. You know, because we do have things that you don't have, and you have things that we don't have.
Absolutely. And the goal is to help people find what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they'll come back.
Yeah, people appreciate that. I think there really is something to be said. If I'm looking for something and I'm not going to find it with you, the fact that you care enough to send me to the next store.
Yeah.
I always want to shop again at places like that because there is a sense of camaraderie. You talked about making jewelry, Melanie, and I think a lot of people would really appreciate coming into Never Ender your support of local artists. You can actually get a lot of locally made jewelry. You even have a great, in the back you have like, people can come in and put on their art displays. You do that here. Why was it so important for you to be an outlet for some of these local artists?
Well, it started with my daughter, Amber, who started Never Ender 14 years ago. And that was her idea, was to support the local artists, because at that point there wasn't very much around. And I just continued it on from there, and it's built up, and now we still have an art show every month with a different artist.
Well, I'm excited because I think that you always have something unique that you'll find in here. I love that you really do support the local art community, and we are living in an amazing community where there's so many talented people, whether it's the two of you bringing creative businesses or the artists that are helping you, they're selling some of their merchandise and their artwork here at those stores. There really is something to be said for that sense of community.
Yeah, I agree.
So Melanie, we asked Kendra, obviously she mentioned you as one of her favorite places to shop. When you're not taking care of your store, where do you like to go in Midtown?
Well, I like to go to Public House sometimes in the afternoons after work.
I'm up for day drinking myself. I like that.
I have a new patio now. And then I get my coffee every day from Creme across the street.
And I hear they have fantastic crepes, gourmet sandwiches, and I'm hungry, so let's go lunch.
So that's perfect.
Let's go have some food. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's having the most? We are. The 2 blushes at the end. The 2 blushes. Okay. Hi, Pete.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Good.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm so excited to be in here.
Well, welcome.
Well, I wanted to tell you, first of all, I read your RGJ article and I've been dying to get in here. First of all, I love your music. I think you just, and your fashion on stage.
Thank you.
Was like, is this just a bleed over of that? Because that's exactly what it sounded like in the article. This is a bit of you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a part of me and kind of what we do with the band also. So, and it kind of connects also with the bar. In a
I
sense,
think
so.
it's so great that you kind of blend like the historic kind of Western feel of Nevada, which, you know, I moved here 20 years ago, and that was the one thing that I noticed was that there's this love of Nevada, and you're like bringing this fashion back.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a third generation Reno guy, so I really love Reno, and we just wanted to open a place that kind of encapsulated what Reno was about from the past. You know, something from you know, the 60s and 70s kind of Western wear. So we kind of focused on that, and then obviously we have a lot of other things, but we wanted to really try to do something different. Reno, you know, traveling all around the world in the United States, I've noticed that Reno has its own style and its own look, and it's very unique, and we kind of tried to encapsulate that whole look. So.
Well, for me, I want you to pick me out an outfit because I love costumes.
Okay.
I love to dress up.
All right.
I've been wanting to come in here, and I'm not afraid of anything. And I did hear you might even have some badass Evel Knievel gear. Is this true?
I do.
I was a big time Evel Knievel fan when I was a kid. So.
Yeah. And we can get you some. Some of the custom gear that we make. That was another thing that was important to us when we opened this place, was to, not only just sell, high-end, curated vintage, but also to get stuff that we could make our own and make special. So there's a lot of one-of-a-kind pieces in here, and so that was like the big push for us to try to do something different in this area also.
You are just like an absolute artist. Like everything about you, your music, this store, the bar. Is this just another creative outlet for you?
Absolutely. This is just like music. This was a love of mine for many years, as far as fashion, and as far as even collecting one-of-a-kind vintage pieces. So that was something that if I can make these things a business or something that I can do for a living, it's important to me. So with the music and the bar in this place, booking music and all that, also it was something that was important to me to try to do something that I love, that I'm passionate about, and I think that's very important. So.
Why do you think people love vintage so much? Because it seems like it's really kind of making a mad comeback right now.
That's a good question. It's I feel that the clothing was made a little better a while back, and the cool thing about vintage is a lot of the pieces there's only one of them. And so it's really exciting to be able to wear something that no one else is going to have when you leave the house or go on a trip. And that was something that we took even further by taking these one-of-a-kind pieces and customizing them again. So there's no piece on earth that's like this. And we had Dirty Needle Embroidery come in from Hollywood, and he's done a lot of the custom stuff that we'll show you. And he does single needle embroidery, and he's an artist. I mean, he's incredible. We have Jake Houston from Royal Flush Leather, who does leather stamping. So, and they're constantly working, and we're always in here distressing denim or doing stuff like that. So that we're always making things in here, which is fun. It's fun to come to work and do that.
I think too, like there's this need right now. People love couture, and you can actually afford vintage couture, and to have that little own piece or that little added feature of it that makes it totally unique.
100%.
I think we're in this era right now where people want to have a signature look.
Absolutely.
Well, let's do it. Let's get a signature look.
Let's look for one. Perfect.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
I mean, this is.
I love this. This is amazing. It's beautiful.
And he did this with the single needle, so this is like his nudie suit. So obviously, a big influence for us was the nudie rodeo tailors in Los Angeles. So. And he did, this incredible embroidery on these suits. So we wanted to kind of encapsulate that, and so the store is definitely is a piece of that. Hopefully that we're trying to bring in. The idea for us is to start creating our own clothes. And Zach Gertis, who's the other owner here, he's making T-shirts and kind of from like old defunct casinos and bars, and those have been a huge hit for us. And those are probably our top seller. Just he's taken.
I love this.
And he's he kind of put together
These
like a fun little.
These kind of remind me of. I have some good friends of mine. They collect old matchbook casino matchbooks, and
I think a lot of his designs have come from those. So that was this has been a hit, and he's doing limited runs. So once they're gone. They're gone, and he's going to do another run soon, and he's doing a lot of rock and roll tees and stuff like that. So the big thing for us is to create and do something that's new and different. And it's not a competition. It's more we're bringing culture here, and there's culture down the street, and Junkies and Bad Apple and all these other stores. I think together we have our own little look.
Yes.
And so it's creating a nice little style corridor through Midtown. And the buildings are beautiful. I mean, this building, this used to be an old Dodge dealership back in the 30s and 40s, and it was Dodge Brothers, and it was Dick Damone's Motors. So we decided to you know, to pay homage to that, we called this place Dick Diamond's Golden Jackal, like the old casino. So we wanted to have that feel to it.
I love this too, the horseshoe.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys create that? Because that is fantastic.
Well, this is from the horseshoe, the horseshoe in Carson City, and this is from the Nevada Neon Project. Loaned this to us.
It's awesome.
So, and that's another amazing thing. He's doing an incredible job grabbing all these signs and restoring them, and he's going to make a museum out of it here in Reno. So we wanted to, you know, we obviously it's amazing having it in here. So we ended up, you know, helping to restore this one, and we're going to cherish it as long as we have it.
Yeah,
I don't know how long
absolutely. I was going to say, let's hope you don't have to give that
I know
one back.
it's become a focal point in here, and so that was important for us to take old Reno and pay homage to it, and you know, create a place that you know, people could come in and understand what Reno, you know, style and culture is like without having to like be from here.
And you also just like taking advantage of what is already here.
Yeah.
You're, like you said, I mean, this is a building with history. It fits what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think you walk in here and it's not just, it's these great clothes, but it's also, hey, you get to walk out with a piece of art from a local artist. You know that you're supporting something. I used to be a mad
we have
roller
a few
skater,
we have a few other places to go. I don't want you to hurt yourself before we get there.
This is rad.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah, so
I would be so cool at the skating rink right now.
100%.
Don't even think you understand.
Yeah.
Pete. Like all the 7th grade boys would want me.
yeah,
right now,
it's
so.
perfect, and we
I
got
love
the little
it. It's
embellishment
rad.
on the front too here.
And
so
it's just
chain
gorgeous
stitch.
too, like the detail that you have with everything.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for taking me back to 7th grade.
Of course, anytime.
All right,
hey,
I'm good.
Fashion's cyclical. It always comes back.
So one of the things you were saying, Pete, is that Midtown, you seem like you're all in this together. So you have this fantastic shop. Where do you go? Where do you like to go in Midtown?
I mean, one of my favorite places is Natural Selections. It's right down the street. They do an incredible job. It's very curated. They do a lot of taxidermy and plants, and I think it's the most beautiful store in Reno. Just the way they set it up and their entire vision, they nailed it. So.
There's not a lot of people that can say taxidermy is beautiful, so I'm ready to go with you. Let's go.
Perfect, let's do it.
Succulents. I'm a big succulent fan.
This is Natural Selections.
I love this place.
I
love it.
This is Emily.
Hi, Emily. It's nice that we've met. I've actually popped in here. It's been a little while. I didn't realize all the succulents. The succulents are great. So tell us a little bit about how you got started doing this, because there's a lot of really crazy, unique things in here.
It's an interesting story. So when I was in 7th grade, I actually picked up a roadkill marmot on my way home from babysitting. I was reading a biography on Theodore Roosevelt, and one of his hobbies was taxidermy, and I thought it sounded really fun, so I picked up that marmot, and I've been in love with it ever since.
So everything in here you've done?
Actually, they're all old collected things. There's plenty of old taxidermy roaming around. A lot of it, I've just kind of found here and there. The big snake over there is definitely one of my favorites. It was part of a circus act in the 1960s, and it had a heart attack in the middle of one of the acts, and that's how it died.
That is an awesome story.
And I was told the reason that it had a heart attack is because it was overweight.
So he's a fat snake. How are you fat at the circus? I thought you were supposed to be working out and stuff. That's interesting. Well, I'm scared of those. I grew up in the Philippines, and I had a 16-foot python that was right behind our backyard, and it was eating a boar. And it takes a couple days to let that digest. So it was like, see, you thought it was cool. I was like terrified to go into my backyard. So it was like, so why do you love this place, Pete?
Well, we kind of just met randomly. She has a few pieces in the store, and she kind of helped us dress the walls up when we first opened because it was very bare in there. But I just love, this is kind of, we're doing clothing over there, right, and she's kind of doing the same thing with oddities and taxidermy and stuff like that. It's very curated. Very, very unique, even like not just unique in Reno, unique anywhere, and that I think that's kind of, we're on the same level there. Just that we're trying to have stores that are unique anywhere in the United States or anywhere else.
Weirdos with passion.
Right,
yes, exactly.
I love that. That's perfect. And then is it like other weirdos that come in and buy? Like what are some of your common customers? What are they looking for?
It's really interesting. My customers range from, I have mostly women actually, but I'll have like a grandfather.
Because we're crazy.
Yeah. I didn't say that.
I'll have like a grandfather and his grandkids come in, and the next will be a chick with face tattoos. I just love this.
That's awesome.
I have a very diverse crowd of people.
Well, and I like it too because it's like introducing them to, a lot of these animals that are here native to northern Nevada, which I think kind of goes back to you where, Pete, you've talked about bringing that kind of old Nevada and that history that we have back. There's a need for that, and you're doing that as well.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not going to lie, this buffalo hanging over here is making me hungry.
Well, I need a drink, so let's go to my place, the Loving Cup, and I'll call over some slices from Blue Moon, and I'll deliver them there. And
buffalo slices?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let's do it.
Buffalo mozzarella. you.
See? And it's not buffalo.
That'll
pizza,
do.
right?
That'll do.
So it'll be good. I love this. Now, this used to be the biggest little city club.
Yeah, yes it did.
Is that why you were like, hey, I want this place?
Well, so it used to be Satellite before
Right.
that, and then those guys took it over, and then they came. The owners came to me with Biggest Little City Club, and they wanted to do a renovation, and they wanted to freshen it up. So they brought me on, and so we this is the place we opened from there.
But I love this. Like I was just saying, like I feel like I'm having dinner with Elvis right now, which is kind of nice.
So these came out of the Fitzgerald's
Love it.
casino. So it's the same thing with my store. A lot of the stuff in here was found objects from old casinos and stuff. So that was kind of a fun project for me to design it. The stools were from the Streeter Bar. So the stools are 100 years old. We redid them.
Awesome.
And then the down to the booths and the tables were all.
Now, how did you find it? Like, did someone come into you, or were you like, I'm on the lookout?
They were renovating it to the new place, and I kind of befriended one of the people, and I was like, hey, what are you guys gonna do with those booths?
Right.
And they're like, I don't know, we're just gonna throw them in the dump. So I took it upon myself to go up there and stuff it in a freight elevator and bring it over here. So that's how we got them in here.
That's a great question. So how many dumpsters have you been in to get some of the stuff that I was going to say?
Quite a bit, yeah. Unfortunately, I've been quite a bit. And a lot of the stuff is found. So, when I opened it, there was some bare walls, and I constantly am out looking for stuff, and I find something and put it in. And the room's really got a lot of personality now. We're 3 years old in October, and I kind of wanted it to feel, I wanted the bar to have more of a feminist feel to it. I didn't want it to be masculine, steel and concrete. I wanted it to have velvet, and I wanted it to be kind of warm and inviting.
And why Loving Cup? I mean, when you think about a bar, this seems like a really odd name for a place to come and have drinks.
So I'm a huge Rolling Stones fan.
Okay.
So as you can tell, Jackson Northman painted this photo for us for the bar. That's Mick Jagger, obviously.
I love it.
So the Loving Cup is a Stones song, and just one drink and I fall down drunk on the line in it. So we kind of had some fun with that. I wanted this place to. I like to mix eras as far as design goes. So I obviously have the Art Deco thing going, but I also wanted it to feel like Mick Jagger's apartment in the 70s, so that's where the velvet and all that stuff is. So I kind of smashed those together, and this is the aesthetic that kind of came out of it. The wallpaper is from the Beverly Hills Hotel, the Martinique. It's like a classic, classic wallpaper. So
gorgeous, and I feel like a little bit of like Casablanca too when
absolutely,
I'm in here.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
And that's the fun thing about bars is you kind of make your own. You make your own space. You make up the rules and kind of create a space that you think would be welcoming. So
you have taken us to your store. You're a musician. You take us to your bar. You are what I would consider a true artist. Do you feel at times that you have to have that desire to start something new?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. The band definitely came first, and I bartended to make the band work, and I learned how to bartend, and then that's kind of how this came into fruition. And it's one of those things where my passions are constantly shifting, and vintage clothing was another one of my passions. So it's really exciting for me to take my passions and turn them into something that I can do for a living. This bar was a really amazing opportunity for me to bring local musicians in and touring acts that I met on the road with Moondog Matinee, and bring them in here, and we do a lot of live music and live jazz and stuff like that. So it's fun how all these businesses come full circle.
Right. And don't you feel like too that right now there is this energy that's coming from Reno where people are, I'm going to do this. There's no holding back. I'm going to try it.
Absolutely.
What would you say to someone that was an artist that's here in Northern Nevada right now? What would you say to them if they were, I like this, and then I like that, and I like this? What would your advice be to them?
And that's a great question, because the reason that I'm able to have this is because I didn't move to Portland or Austin, Texas, or San Francisco. I was stubborn, and I stayed in Reno because I loved Reno, and I saw its potential. And there's been people long before me doing amazing, cool things, but there is a more of a spotlight now, you know, so I'm very lucky and blessed for that. But I do think that if people stick around and
make it what you want.
Make it what you want it, and if we don't have it, then do it, you know,
right.
like create
Make it happen.
And that's an exciting time right now. There's a renaissance, and there's a lot of holes in Reno that aren't there yet that people can fill in, and the music scene's incredible here, and the art scene, you know,
it gets better and better. It's incredible
in the world. And Sculpture Fest, you know, like they brought some amazing stuff in here. So there's some really there's incredible momentum right now in Reno, and I only see it, you know, going up. I think we're just on the precipice of something amazing. And
absolutely.
And I think there's a lot of people that believe that too. So
well, let's eat local pizza. How about that? I like it. This is another thing I love about Midtown right here. Blue Moon Pizza right next door. You can order pizza and come in your bar.
Yeah, they'll bring it over here. So everyone's working together.
We're doing
Cheers.
it now.
Where's this almond from?
Pizza's so good. Did you move here because of them? Because I would have.
Yeah.
Experience life every day by living local.